On the internet, personal finance advice, well, it flows like Niagara Falls. And I find much of this torrent of information, well, you know what? It's geared towards people under 50. And the rest, well, it's pretty general. We hear things like budget carefully, save 10 to 20% of your monthly pay, and pay those credit card balances off at the end of every month. Now, listen, there's no question these are prudent personal finance rules, and they're rules that we should all follow no matter how old we are. But in the next 10 minutes, what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 7 personal finance rules that are unique to older adults. And I'd even go so far as to say they're critical to follow if you want to enjoy a comfortable retirement. I'll share those rules with you right after this break. Welcome back to Over 50 TV. My name is Lou Reyes. Well, before the break, I said in this video what I'm going to do is I'm going to share with you 7 personal finance rules that are unique to older adults. And these rules, well, they're important and they grow more important to follow as we age. So let's go ahead and let's start with rule number 1. Don't be your adult child's ATM. When grown children, our children are struggling with their financial lives, it can be tempting to open up our bank account, our checkbook to help them out. But the problem with this approach is that it can lead to family tension, it can lead to stress, and it can certainly impact your finances, which in some cases may already be stretched. So when your adult child comes to you and they ask for a loan, or what we really just should term a handout, here are some things I recommend. Number 1, assess the need for money. Don't lend money to people who earn enough to cover their expenses, but they can't because of mismanagement, financial mismanagement. What you're doing is you're really just enabling their bad behavior. And a loan, it should come with conditions if you really want to end a habitual cycle of borrowing. Require them to take a budgeting class or maybe even get credit counseling. There are plenty of nonprofit agencies that can help them to do that. And if this loan, if it's really needed to pay a bill, well, you should pay that creditor directly. Whatever you do, don't lend money you can't afford to lose. And one more thing, make that loan legitimate. Get it in writing, all the terms, and ask when you expect or can expect to be paid back. And let them know what the consequences are if you're not paid back. Assess your primary source of income. The Federal Reserve reported that 40% of adults last year said they could not afford a hypothetical emergency expense of $400. Now, if you're older and you fall into this category, well, ask yourself, what am I doing wrong? How can I increase my income? In answering this question, well, you guessed it. It sometimes means taking a hard look at your primary source of income, which is usually your job. Now, if you're unable to earn enough at your current job, at this current position to meet a relatively small emergency expense, well, it is time. It's definitely time to increase that income. And at your age, you shouldn't have to adjust your lifestyle down to that income. Strive to adjust your income up. Now, in the description box of this video, you're going to find a link to a free career aptitude test. That test is courtesy of CareerFitter. And if you follow this channel, you know that I'm an advocate of career aptitude tests. And I'm an advocate because I know that they can help people, help folks to learn about a career that better fits their experience, their skills, and their personality. So I recommend taking career aptitude tests as a first step to finding a better job, a job that will pay you more income. Put fraud safeguards in place now. Older adults, we all know they're at greater risk of financial fraud, but there are ways to reduce that risk. Ask family members to be alerted when large withdrawals are made from your accounts. You can also have names and numbers placed on a do not call list so that you're not bothered. And some other things you could do to increase your security and to protect yourself against fraud and identity theft. Well, number 1, keep your contact information up to date. Number 2, create the strongest possible passwords. Number 3, allow push alerts on your mobile banking app. Number 4, protect your devices with the latest browsers and operating systems. Also, this is number 5, consider enabling biometrics, and this just means setting up your accounts for fingerprint sign-on or facial recognition. Lastly, know which family members or loved ones have access to your account information. prepare for cognitive decline. Worsening or more frequent confusion or memory loss is a form of cognitive impairment. It tends to show up in our 60s and our 70s, and when it shows up, it can become harder to manage bills, to calculate tips, and to make change. So consider writing down a list of your financial institutions and account numbers and keeping that list in a safe place, a place that would be accessible by your family members in an emergency. Now, I also suggest talking through plans and wishes and even writing out an outline of how you'd like to manage money as you age. Keep learning. Lifelong learning, it's beneficial at every stage of our life. And contrary to previously held beliefs, cognitive decline, you know what? It's not inevitable. According to BMJ, they're a 180-year-old global healthcare knowledge provider. They say that some older adults retain excellent cognitive function well into their 70s and 80s, and they perform as well or better than younger adults. In lifelong learning, it reduces the risks of forms of dementia. And this is according to Newton Nelson. They're a nonprofit organization. They're committed to helping aging adults live exceptionally. And Newton Nelson suggests learning a new language or mastering a new gardening technique. And these tasks, they're cognitively stimulating, and they may reduce the risk of Alzheimer's disease and other forms of dementia. In this organization, they also say simply reading a book or practicing an instrument, well, it can decrease muscle tension and blood pressure and lower stress levels that can help you better cope with challenging situations and changes in life. Consider launching a side hustle or a full-time business. Starting a side hustle or a full-time gig, well, in midlife, it can certainly add to your income, your retirement income, but it can also offer professional and creative satisfaction. And I find it's more fruitful to start a business when you've got decades of experience under your belt. And it's also likely that you've amassed a larger network of connections. And this can be extremely useful when you're seeking vendors or customers or even investors. Now, the large number of people that you know may be able to introduce you to even more people who can directly help you with your startup. It's also likely that if you've got more resources to fund your startup. Now, if you're considering starting a side hustle or a full-time business, I've got a link to my free side hustle starter kit in the description box of this video. And my kit, it'll guide you through the first 8 steps of starting a business. Well, here we are at number 7, last on our list of personal finance rules that are unique to people over 50. I happen to think this is the most important one. It's teach your grandchildren financial literacy. According to CNBC, only 15% of parents speak with their children more than once about household finances, and 31% of parents never do. I believe as grandparents, we can play a significant role in teaching our grandkids about the value of money. And when they understand the value of a dollar, they're able to handle their finances better. They'll know the importance of budgeting. They'll understand the importance of saving and avoiding unnecessary expenses and racking up credit card debt. Well, if they're just too busy working and they are unable to teach your kids financial literacy, well, it's something that we can offer. It's something that we can offer to do for the grandkids and for their parents. Well, that's all I got for you today, folks. I hope you found this video helpful. And I hope if you have any questions, you will submit them. You can email them to me, or you can make a comment in the comment section of this video. Well, as I said, that's all I got for you. I want to thank you for watching. And I want to say one more thing. Have a great day, everybody.